Level 1. $1,000 per month. You count every receipt. Rent takes half or more. Food, transport, and a phone bill take almost all that remains. When a bill appears that you did not plan for, you feel it in your chest before you read the amount. One broken tooth or flat tire can wreck your whole month. You know price tags by heart. You pick store brands. You wait for sales. You tell friends next time when they suggest going out because you know the numbers will not work. You fall asleep thinking about one simple wish: enough income to stop checking your balance before every small purchase. Level 2. $3,000 per month. You finally breathe. Rent still hurts, but you pay it without counting coins in your head. You keep the lights on, the internet running, and buy better food some days instead of only the cheapest option every time. You build a small cushion, maybe a few hundred saved. The first time an unexpected bill arrives and you pay it without calling anyone or swiping a credit card to the limit, you feel something new: control over your own money. You still worry about losing your job. You still cannot ignore cash flow. But the constant emergency feeling eases. You are not drowning every week anymore. Level 3. $5,000 per month. You reach basic comfort. You cover all needs: rent, food, transport, utilities, some insurance, and you still have money for wants: nicer clothes, occasional dinners out, a short trip once in a while. You replace broken things instead of nursing them along until they fail. You automate small transfers into savings and simple investments. The numbers are not huge, but they grow. You see your net worth move up instead of hovering near zero. You start to understand that time in the market helps more than chasing quick wins. You still have to make choices, but you are choosing between good options instead of between pay a bill or skip food. Level 4. $10,000 per month. You join the solid middle of high earners. You live in a better apartment or a modest house in a safer area. You drive a car you are not ashamed of, and you can handle repairs without panic. You pay for a gym you like, not only the cheapest one. You travel once or twice a year and pay for the trip as you go. You build a real investment base: retirement plans, broad index funds, maybe a side business. You begin to track your overall wealth more than your monthly paycheck, and it slowly climbs into the six figures. Your stress shifts from survival to strategy. You think about career moves, business ideas, and long-term goals. You are no longer living only month to month. Level 5. $50,000 per month. You become one of the top earners in your city. You live in a large home in a desirable area or in a luxury apartment if you prefer the city. You send your children to good schools, public or private, by choice, not by force. You eat at quality restaurants whenever you want, not only on special occasions. Your investments compound into the seven figures and keep rising. You work with financial professionals because errors can now cost you more than your entire yearly income used to be. You hear about tax strategies, legal structures, and estate planning. You notice how easy it is to let spending grow with income: bigger houses, more cars, constant upgrades. You learn that feeling broke at this level is possible if you treat every raise as a signal to live larger instead of building assets. Level 6. $100,000 per month. You are firmly in the top tier. You own a valuable primary home and perhaps a vacation house or rental property. You fly in business class or first class as a default for long trips. You stay in high-end hotels, use services that save time, and rarely look at prices for everyday items. You care less about salary and more about ownership. You build or acquire businesses, invest in private companies, and join deals instead of watching from the outside. Your wealth reaches 8 figures or more. You spend a lot of time with advisors, accountants, and lawyers. You do not want to lose half to taxes, lawsuits, or bad planning. You start thinking about how to protect family members if something happens to you. Time becomes the main constraint. You pay others to handle anything routine: cleaning, errands, logistics, so you can focus on decisions that move numbers in millions, not hundreds. Level 7. $10 million per month. You step into the world of extreme wealth. Your income in 1 month equals what many successful professionals will not see in a lifetime. You control assets in the hundreds of millions. You own multiple properties across countries, a primary residence, city apartments, retreats, maybe a ranch or a coastal estate. Private travel is normal, not special. You have access to private jets, either owned or on call. You move between places guided by your calendar, not by ticket prices. Staff manage your properties, schedule, and logistics. You employ teams to manage your money and businesses. A family office, investment professionals, specialized lawyers. You oversee them the way a chief executive oversees departments. Your decisions affect large numbers of employees and customers. You start to see your name in the news, sometimes for your business moves, sometimes for your lifestyle, sometimes for choices you did not think anyone else noticed. You lose anonymity. You think a lot about risk, not whether you can pay your bills, but whether a bad investment, a scandal, or a legal fight can damage what you built and how your family will live after you. Level 8. $100 million per month. You operate in a different league. Your monthly income matches or exceeds the yearly budgets of major organizations. You control or heavily influence large companies, infrastructure projects, funds, or platforms that reach millions of people. Every move you make is watched by markets, regulators, news outlets, and rivals. When you buy or sell, stock prices move. When you announce a project, industries respond. You are not only participating in the economy, you are shaping it. You build serious philanthropy efforts, large foundations, or targeted initiatives. You can fund hospitals, universities, climate projects, or technology research at a scale that changes sectors. Some people praise you for this. Others criticize you for wielding so much private power. Your life needs professional security planning. You think about kidnapping risks, stalking, hacking, and reputational attacks. You add layers of protection, both digital and physical, that most people never consider. You spend time with heads of industry and government. Invitations arrive from global summits, councils, and private meetings that claim to discuss the future of whole regions, industries, or technologies. You learn that your opinion can carry weight outside your formal role. You still have personal moments, family dinners, private hobbies, but they sit inside a complex machine of assistants, staff, and obligations that never completely quiet down. Level 9. $1 billion per month. You stand almost alone. Your monthly income equals or surpasses the annual budgets of many countries. Your wealth moves across continents. You may own controlling stakes in global corporations, social platforms, critical logistics networks, energy giants, or financial institutions. When you decide to invest, industries pivot. When you signal concern, entire sectors get nervous. Your capital flows are studied by analysts, regulators, and competitors as clues to what may happen next in the world economy. You live everywhere and nowhere. You own homes in major capitals and private retreats far from cities. You move by jet and helicopter. Your time is carved into small blocks by advisors who try to keep up with invitations, demands, and risks. Your family exists inside a controlled bubble. Security teams vet schools, friends, and travel. Privacy is scarce. Children grow up knowing cameras follow them, and that strangers judge them without meeting them. You worry about how to give them identity beyond your name and your wealth. You run or direct a large group of professionals whose full-time job is to manage your capital, legal exposure, public image, and philanthropic footprint. Your role is to set direction, approve strategy, and decide the few key questions no one else is allowed to answer. You can reshape cities, funding new districts or letting old ones decline. You can move supply chains with your decisions. You can support political causes at a scale that changes the outcome of debates and elections. You know that each check you sign can tip a balance you do not fully see. You face constant pressure from many sides. Governments may view you as a partner, a threat, or both. Activists, citizens, and media question whether anyone should have this much influence. Competitors look for weak points. Allies expect loyalty when their interests are at stake. You spend late nights thinking about legacy and limits. How much is enough? What happens if you keep growing this machine? What happens if you step back? Who takes control after you, and what values they will carry into a future you will not see? You remember the levels below, the months when one broken tire ruined everything, when basic comfort was a dream. The distance between that life and your life now feels infinite, yet you know you walked every step. Money long ago stopped being about safety or comfort. It became a measure of reach, risk, and responsibility. At $1 billion per month, you discover that the hardest questions are no longer about how to make more, but about what you are willing to do or refuse to do in a world where your choices touch millions of people who never chose you.